FAA is investigating a stunt gone wrong high above the Arizona desert.
Dangerous stunt that's led to a government investigation. It shows the plane just a few feet from the runway.
A YouTuber pleads guilty to federal obstruction charges after staging a plane crash.
Did you crash the plane on purpose?
Definitely.
People are constantly pushing the limits to grab eyeballs on social media.
When you're up in the air, you don't really know what to expect. And when it all comes close to crashing down, passengers can't help but freak out. Join us to watch a series of some of the most incredible and jaw-dropping moments in the sky that can't go unnoticed. A casual day at the beach, and there it goes! Too quick to even realize what happened. Who knew Lithuanian pilots were this skilled? This plane is about to do a 180, quite literally. Mind blown. We rarely think about the expertise it takes to fly a helicopter, and one Indian pilot's brave swerve just as the plastic sheet flew to cover his view gives us a good glimpse into aviation school. The cameraman has an insane amount of trust in the pilot. Here's another glimpse. Who's crazier, the pilot or his barely escaping buddy? This feels like the time you got a math answer right without really knowing how. Now that's a phenomenal flyby. This plane is getting uncomfortably bigger, but check this out. Whoa! It almost took off their heads. And a perfect landing. Easy, easy, easy. That's probably what the pilot's thinking. Although, I think the people around them are probably going to take a week-long vacation after this. A casual TV presentation, but with a little... Wait, is that a plane? Duck! Phew, that was a close one. You might want to fasten your seatbelts, folks. This seaplane is experiencing quite a turbulent descent. Luckily, the pilots were skilled and the landing turned out smoother than butter. I know you're mesmerized watching these flares, but wait till you see what they reveal. If I saw that in the air, I'd be holding my prayer beads. Remember how much we'd stand in front of the van with our mouths open? This is a much more thrilling version. This is the craziest casual water pour ever. I know there's some science at play here, but you can't convince me this guy isn't a magician.
All right, ready, set, go.
When a helicopter malfunctioned and sped down to the sea, its skilled pilot managed to crash land it on the waves. Oof! A turbulent flight followed by the rough sea. I bet the pilot's experiencing some severe motion sickness. This is how you lose a $1 billion investment. Seriously, I bet someone got fired that day. This plane descended on a slippery, slippery slope. But wait a minute, is this even real? Well, you be the judge. Precariously balancing a chopper on an edge is dangerous enough, but wait till you see what the pilot does next. This insane helicopter stunt in Namche, Nepal had me at the edge of my seat. I can only imagine a live reaction. This is a bumpy ride for sure. I can't imagine what the passengers were feeling. Maybe they had paper bags in their hands, but hats off to the pilot. Imagine being late to work because a plane emergency landed on the highway. Well, at least he had the dash cam footage, otherwise no one would believe him. Whoa! This helicopter is lucky the road is almost clear. I think this is the most difficult maneuver. It might just be the most impressive thing any pilot's ever done. Although I think he'll hurl when he gets out. No, 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 no! Phew. I'm no aviation expert, but I'm pretty sure this isn't supposed to be happening.
Where's his right wing?
I can only imagine what the pilot was thinking. Luckily, he balanced it carefully enough to land perfectly. All right, I'm beginning to think a major part of aviation is doing dangerous stunts like this. The pilot's clearly showing off. This F-22 pilot just pulled an Uno reverse. Jokes aside, a pull-out maneuver like that means the pilot is incredibly skilled. One pilot's stunt left everyone screaming for their safety. Turns out it was all staged. But you know, the woman should definitely co-star alongside Tom Cruise. She's got insane speed to keep up with the plane. This must be the aviation equivalent of calling your big brother to help you out. Don't worry, they're just putting out a fire, colorfully. This is one eager shooter here. I can't believe the jet managed to swerve right out of their targets. You might not be able to put out a forest fire on your own, but doesn't mean you can't help. A timely rescue like this is why no one was hurt, and we can all thank the homeowners for that.
Madre Santa, man. Uy, man!
This is what happens when you've got a big pool and a massive fire breaks out nearby. Thanks to the rescue chopper's swift movements and the free source of water, the fire was out before it could cause any damage.
Here comes the helicopter crew.
He's got his helmet on.
We've all seen high-profile cop pursuits in the movies, but here's one of the craziest. The pilot abandoning the chopper to make the wildest arrest of his life. When smoke started billowing out of this helicopter, the pilot clearly understood he had a few minutes to land it to safety. Thankfully, the chopper found the perfect landing spot. That was a tense few minutes for the pilot.
The guy who landed his helicopter to go get some McDonald's.
I guess this pilot didn't want to wait for Uber Eats. Well, I don't blame him. It's McDonald's after all. Let's just hope he tipped good. This feels like the start of a really good thriller. I can't even park my car right, and this pilot landed the chopper on one of the roughest helipads ever made like it was no big deal. This Canada Air met with an accident earlier and was airlifted to safety by a Chinook. Now that I'm seeing this, I've never thought about what happens if a plane needs a lift. If a jet flew right over my head like this, I'd be freaking out too. I guess you could call this a hair racing experience. All aviation enthusiasts know the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor. And here's another incredible look at one of the many impossible tasks it can achieve. But let's get a standing ovation to the pilot. They deserve it. I bet these passengers are seriously regretting their tickets right about now.
Just had to evacuate. We landed in Denver. Holy shit.
Thankfully, everyone was safe. I know this guy is probably an expert, but he must trust the chopper flyer blindly, especially on terrains like this. I bet they're best buddies. Okay, I know some pilots can fly their choppers extremely low. But was scaring a bunch of people really necessary? This daredevil pilot commandeered the fighter jet like it was a paper airplane, only in Australia.
This guy is crazy. Look at him doing, man.
Check out this crazy vertical air show. It's almost too perfect to be real. If I paid extra for the window seat and this was my view, I'd be lining up at the airport ready for a big refund. Imagine being lucky enough to capture a low-flying jet this close and getting it on film.
Before we move any further, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you can keep watching our amazing content.
Chinese fighter jets buzzed U.S. planes a warning. Well, I don't blame them. I'd react the same if someone intruded on my property. Well, I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure the one recruit who didn't budge is going to get a lot of praise. I guess Paw Patrol is really taking flight. And that's how you catch a criminal. A good day at the beach turned upside down when this plane made a rather tumultuous landing.
Ava! Ava! Get over here! Get over here!
Don't worry, everyone's safe, including the pilot and Ava, of course. This is what a touch-and-go practice looks like in reality. This is what happens when commitment to work meets procrastination. I mean, if it were up to me, I'd mow the lawn while driving my car too. Too bad that's not possible. One fighter jet got uncomfortably close to another. And I guess it decided to back out before it could cause any damage. This guy knows how to blend in well. I just hope he doesn't cause a roadblock. This made my heart drop. Someone needs to tell that second pilot a thing or two about invading boundaries. If you've ever wanted to know how fast a chopper's blades are, look at them creating their own path in the rain. I don't know how difficult it is to accomplish this flare-shooting maneuver, but I guess it must have taken years of training. These are the most synchronized planes I've ever seen. I guess months of training really paid off. Someone didn't latch the engine cowling properly, and I bet they'll be handing out a letter of resignation after seeing this. This guy is the modern-day Aladdin, although I don't really think the carpet here is willing to share itself. Don't worry, it's just a stunt, though I don't recommend doing it.
Did he open the door? How'd he get up there?
I understand why the police block traffic, but let's move on. I can't imagine living here. I wouldn't deal with the noise for 1 minute. Have you ever taken a look at something and think, yeah, I'm definitely not skilled enough to do that? This pilot probably doesn't. I know these pilots are quite skilled and probably trust each other with all their hearts, but I'd be taking a long break from work after this. I think even the pilot knows a single inch lower and they'd all have been a goner. Wait! You're flying too close to the group. Oh, well, now look at that. You're too high now. This fighter jet's takeoff took a dark turn when its engines failed. Luckily, it was still on the runway. Otherwise, it would be really difficult making a safe landing. What is it with planes and flying too low? These beachgoers almost got blown off the road. 2 planes flying side by side? My anxiety is already through the roof. And then one of them gets too close to the bystanders. That was a close one. I get that these pilots really wanted to show off their skills. But considering they got permanently grounded afterwards, they could have put more thought into it. Alright, am I the only one learning planes can do this? This must have taken one heck of a time perfecting the turn. And folks, please don't stand next to a giant plane. It can really blow you away. Well, that's a good chop. Oh God, no! Phew! They need to stop messing with my heart like this. When you've got to make a forced landing, you better hope you luck out enough to get a cop close by. I can only imagine the pilot's nerves must be shakier than the onlookers. I've only ever seen aircrafts land by gliding down. I didn't know they could do this. But you know what I think? The pilot's hands are steadier than a surgeon's. This is the incredible moment the first ever F-35B fighter plane takes off. And look how incredibly it balances in air, almost like it's floating. This 737 pilot was asked to abort landing, but I think they knew their aircraft and skills better than anyone else. This is mind-blowingly awesome! The flares look like a hand reaching down to Earth. Forget watching the sunset, a C-130 flare demonstration is the best way to conclude your night. The harmony, the timing, the visuals, simply amazing! If you see a plane flying this close to your head, I'd suggest taking cover and ducking. This is an incredible close call. This cat is seriously taking advantage of its 9 lives. Though I'm sure when it landed, the feline must have only 2 to 3 remaining. Luckily, the pilot noticed and was able to steer the aircraft back to the ground. Mr. Whiskers won't be getting out of the house for a long time. The Madeira airport frequently experiences crosswinds.
Easy. Whoa, yeah!
So a bumpy landing like this is much more common than we think. Poor passengers, though. This is what happened when hundreds of citizens wanted to flee Kabul, Afghanistan after the regime change. Poor folks. Am I stuck in a secret dimension? Or is this plane secretly an alien? Turns out it's just an optical illusion. The propellers look twisted because of the odd combo of air and angles. A passenger plane this size typically weighs quite a few tons. So kudos to this Mi-26 chopper, which effortlessly pulled this plane as if it was light as a feather. I don't know what happened, but I'm in awe of how effortlessly he parked the chopper. You're watching a very nervous pilot make an emergency landing hoping he won't come in contact with a passing car. Luckily, he pulled it off. But I can't imagine realizing you have to park your chopper then and there. This pilot said no runway, no problem. The dust and smoke are a bit too dramatic for my taste, but I bet the onlookers enjoyed it. Imagine getting off a flight and telling your loved ones you almost collided with a fighter plane. I wouldn't believe it either if it weren't filmed. This is why I don't fly Ryanair. Oof, a shaky touchdown after a smoky landing. Most would be cursing out the pilot. A Norwegian F-16 fighter jet was escorting a SAS 737. But something tells me the F-16 wasn't happy about that. Crosswinds are one of the toughest things to master. And yet this plane lands perfectly, despite a few bumps along the way. These beachgoers certainly had quite a day. The plane almost nosedived into them, but it was just a fluke. Here's another crosswind landing, but one that made me almost nauseous. Uh-oh, someone told me he's being stalked. Who even approved a landing like this? Thank God everything went smoothly. Open discussion. Whoa! This is the craziest video I've ever seen. This jet's got some serious wings. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.